Welcome to episode 4 of Hired. On today's show, I'm starting a special series about networking. It's Networking 101, where to start, who to talk to, what to say, and how to follow up. Today we'll talk about where to start. I'm also doing an interview. It's the second part of our 2-part series on non-traditional careers. I'll be interviewing Wilde, who's a local artist and has a lot to say about artists and community and the connection there. And we'll also talk about the question of the week. What do I do if I want to completely change careers? Where do I start? And this goes along with our non-traditional paths series. And then, of course, we'll go over the blank of the day. All today on Hired. Our first segment today is all about networking. I created a special series on the topic because there is so much that goes into building relationships and understanding the value of attending an event or having a meeting with someone that you've never met. So I want to go over all the components in the next 4 weeks and hope that in between each week you can do a little bit of homework and learn a little bit about yourself and create a plan for yourself by the time we're finished. So today we're going to talk about where to start. And this is all about thinking about where you want to network and what kind of networking you want to do. So the 2 main kinds of networking are attending events and going to meetings one-on-one. So when you attend an event, you're basically going into the kind of environment where people are there because they want to meet other people. So finding a place that has the types of people you want to meet is important. So think about what you're trying to accomplish. If you want to become a teacher, you might want to attend a meeting at a school or attend a meeting with an association that teachers belong to. If you're interested in becoming an engineer or getting a new job as an engineer, you may want to attend a meeting with people that are in that trade. Maybe going to a trade show for manufacturing or attending a meeting of all the regional engineers, wherever that is. You can look at Chamber of Commerce websites to find out when those meetings are. Most people who attend a Chamber of Commerce event are business owners or high-level executives or salespeople. And you can learn a lot about the types of industries in your area by attending those meetings. If you're unsure where to look, what kinds of databases there are, or what websites to look on, go to the companies that you really want to work for. Find out on their website what groups they belong to, what kind of professional affiliations do they have, and when do those meetings take place. Another thing you can do is pinpoint the companies you're interested in and then pinpoint the positions you're interested in. So if you wanted to be a sales manager within a corporation and you are interested in working at one specific branch near your house, you would call that branch, ask to speak with the sales manager, set up a meeting with that person, and find out a little bit about them. So these 2 different ways of approaching networking are what you first want to figure out. Do you want to attend an event or do you want to hold one-on-one meetings? If you're going to attend an event, make a list of the companies or groups or organizations that are meeting, when they meet, how much their membership dues are, who goes to those meetings, what are the expectations, and what do you want to learn from the people you talk to. This is where you need to start, by creating this database of the places you want to be to meet the people who could help you to succeed. Second approach, meeting people one-on-one. This one is, I guess, called the more scary approach because you have to actually have a maybe hour-long meeting with a person you've never met before, but it can also be a lot more effective because you're really learning about the person and about their goals and their challenges, and you can find out how they can help you. So really consider which one of those 2 approaches is best for you, and when we come back next week, we'll talk about what to say when you meet those people. We're doing segment 2 today of the non-traditional career series, and I have a guest here today, Wilde from Northampton, and she would like to tell you a little bit about her path so far, and maybe shed some light on some things that may be helpful for you in your career. So first, what I want to know, thank you for being on the show, Nada, is what do you do?
Well, I'm an artist in the traditional sense, in that I actually make drawings and paintings. And then I'm also an artist according to a new definition that I really like by Seth Godin, and he says, an artist is somebody who uses bravery, insight, creativity, and boldness to challenge the status quo. So I'm also an artist in that way too, and I am trying on different titles for that part. my most recent one that I really like is creativity activist.
Sweet. Is this what you plan to do when you were in college?
Yes and no. On the surface, no, because honestly, without really getting into it, I didn't have much. My vision of my future was rather bleak and vague. There wasn't much of a vision. But in another sense, yes, because my interests have always been in personal and social development and transformation, and that was I was a sociology major in college. So in that sense, it is connected.
Okay. So tell me about your path from graduating college to where you are today. Would you say that there have been a lot of obstacles, challenges, or has it been like just opening and allowing things to happen?
It's definitely been both. Well, I've been an artist my whole life, so that's not like a new thing that came with college. Some of the obstacles for me have been personal obstacles. I needed to do a lot of personal growth and healing process for me to really start moving forward with my talents and my art and with being connected to the community. And I've been really good at noticing opportunities and whenever I can, like utilizing resources and support and opportunities. So that's been really important.
What are some of those resources?
Yeah, well, I guess there's a few different arms. There's kind of like maybe artistic and career-oriented resources, and then maybe personal growth resources that have been really, really key to me. Doing the Artist Way course, which I did the summer after I was done with college, that was really important, and I recommend it to everybody. It's a legendary book by Julia Cameron. So it's called The Artist Way, Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity.
Write that down.
Write that down. And it's a course that you take yourself through, and if you're lucky, you can get a group together and do it yourself. Really good resource.
Would you recommend that for everyone, or people who are interested in getting into an artistic career?
I recommend it to most people because, and certainly if you're a creative person or an artistic person. But the thing about it is, it doesn't matter if you think you're an artist. Kind of the whole point of the Artist Way is actually getting you in touch with your own creativity and your kind of like your passion and your kind of core self. I would also recommend any books, articles, or talks by Sir Ken Robinson. I could go on for a long time.
Okay, we'll start with that. So, like the TED Talk on Sir Ken Robinson, I know.
To die for. And I met him.
And she loved him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't awkward. So what advice would you give to people who are thinking about following a path of like some sort of career that they really feel passionately about, or is maybe different from the norm, but is something that is important to them?
Yeah, well, I would recommend utilizing a lot of the resources that are out there so you don't feel so alone. Because there are so many awesome people in so many different fields right now who are building non-traditional careers and who are writing blogs and books and doing TV shows. And like, there's so much out there.
How can people reach you?
Sure, you can go to my website, which is danawildeart.com, and my last name is Wilde with an E.
That is extra wild. What kinds of art are you into that when people go to their website they can learn, or your website they can learn about?
Yeah, well, I specialize in improvisational expressive drawing. So if you look at my art, you see a lot of drawing/paintings that feature faces and figures, and but they just come through me. I don't plan them out, and it's not like I'm looking at somebody and doing a thing.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks.
Check out her website if you want more information. And that concludes our non-traditional path series for now. We may do it again in the future. But next segment is all about the question of the week. And if you want to completely change careers, I'll give you some advice on how to do that. Sticking with our non-traditional careers path, I wanted to have a segment about this one question I received in my email. And if you want to send me a question to feature on my show, you can go to hired@thebizNewsChannel.com. So the question of the week is, if I want to completely change careers, where's the best place to start? And this is such a common question. I thought, great question to feature on the show. The first thing you want to think about is where your skills and talents you already have can best be utilized. What kinds of companies are out there, and what kinds of industries would be a good match for what you do? And don't think in this like very linear fashion, like, well, I work as a production manager now, so I guess I need to go look for production management jobs at other companies. Well, as a production manager, you're a leader. You probably have a pretty good handle on organization. You're probably a pretty good communicator. You may have a good understanding of how all of the different departments in manufacturing work. So you have a lot of skills to bring to the table, and they don't necessarily need to translate into the same type of job moving forward. So make a list of the skills you have and think about the types of jobs you've wanted to hold but maybe haven't had a chance to up to this point. Once you have a list of your skills and your experience, create a list of the types of companies you would like to work for. And then once you can maybe look at those companies' websites and get an idea of what kinds of people they hire, you can then make a list of the things you don't have and find out what kinds of certifications do you need, what kinds of education do you need additional experience in an area that you don't really have any experience in yet. Once you have this whole list of what you have, what you need, and the companies you want to work for, that you can then create a plan to get you where you want to go. The wildcard segment today is about the one really simple and overlooked strategy that job seekers and most professionals just are not doing. And I wanted to bring this up today because it's such an important piece of business that often gets overlooked because it's just not what we normally do to communicate. We often make phone calls, we send emails, we text, but we don't really encourage people to use the written word and not the email kind of written word, but a greeting card. So today I brought a bunch of my thank you cards I've received over the years for work that I have created or put out there for the public, whether it was a free seminar or someone who read my book or just someone who appreciated something I did. They sent me a thank you card, and I have them here today because I hold on to them. I think they're really cool and different, and it's a nice way to hear from somebody and know that they're grateful for what you did. So I wanted to highlight a couple of them today and just show you these people who have done something, a little bit out of the ordinary. This woman, Mary, she got cards made. On the front it says a note from Mary, and then she filled in the whole thing with her note, and it was just really nice. She went above buying a card at the store and actually got her own cards made. Edward Jones does a really nice job. Their cards have their name on it. Got a nice thank you from them. Wells Fargo, same idea. Their name is on their card, and again, handwritten note inside. And the Picoy companies, another thank you note. And then this woman actually, had a piece of stationery and wrote me a thank you letter on this. And these have all been really meaningful and just it's sort of heartwarming to receive in the mail and see that these people went out of their way to send a letter. So what I'm recommending if you're a job seeker is after your interview, send a handwritten note to the person who interviewed you or the people who interviewed you. It's so much more effective than sending an email that just states, thank you for interviewing me, hope to hear back from you soon. When you have a letter, it actually goes into a totally different compartment in the person's brain that's receiving it. If you think about an executive, they probably get hundreds of emails every day, and it's really easy for your email to get lost in the clutter. So what you can do instead is mail a card to them that ends up on their desk, and it's a nice way to brighten their day. If you're concerned about what kind of card to buy or looking unprofessional, just buy something simple, something that says thanks, thank you. It doesn't have to have teddy bears and clouds all over it. It can just be something nice and simple that says thank you. And make sure that you note what you are appreciative of and that you're looking forward to hearing back. If you're a professional that went to a networking event and met some people that you would like to follow up with, send them a thank you card. Thanks for talking with me. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. You'll be surprised how far it goes. Today's blank of the day is a website. It's Penelope Trunk's blog called Brazen Careerist. She started off a couple of years ago giving mostly career advice, and her blog has really blossomed into an intersection of her personal life, her advice, and how those two things can sort of work to build information that could help you in your career. Her blogs always start off with me asking myself, where is this going? Why is she writing about this? And by the time I get to the end, I'm always surprised and impressed and thinking differently about whatever the topic is. So if you're looking for a good place for career advice and you're kind of sick of reading generic how-to top 10 lists, I'd highly recommend Penelope Trunk's blog. Next week, we'll continue our special series on networking, Networking 101. We'll do step 2, and that's what to say. So once you've gotten to the networking event or the meeting with someone, what is it that you're actually going to say when you get there? We'll also do an interview with Eric Scar from Mass Mutual, who will talk about how to be smart with your money while you're unemployed or looking for a job. The wild card is another question of the week. And the question is, what are a few good ways for me to quickly assess what I'm good at? And of course, we'll do the blank of the day.